What's up, Internet? My name is Attack Slug, and this is my Raw reactions for November 9th of 2015, and the goings-on what happened during Raw, which was in England, because they were on their overseas tour, and this is all the reactions to what happened, because Seth Rollins is now out for 6 to 9 months, so obviously he was the champion, and you must, have a tournament to crown a new champion. Which hasn't been done before around the same time of year, back at Deadly Games, which that tournament was not that great. I mean, obviously the finals in that, and like the semis were great, but that old tournament featured guys like Dwayne Gill and Big Boss Man, and yeah, and Al Snow. Anyway, this Raw though opened up with a Triple H promo explaining that Rollins is hurt and all this other stuff, and out comes Roman Reigns, who Triple H offers the opportunity to become my man, which, sure. And Reigns being Reigns is like, nope, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So that addressed the logistical issue of the fact that Reigns was the #1 contender, and that should have put him into the finals, for whatever kind of thing you had, but, because he wanted to not join the Authority, back of the line. So that started us off with our first match of the show, which was the always long, drawn-out, and dull Roman Reigns versus The Big Show, because it features The Big Show, and not a match that I've ever enjoyed, and certainly Monday was no different. So this Raw had a lot of matches, so this review not going to be super long, because it's kind of like, hey, a match happened, it was alright. Or, hey, a match happened, it was terrible. And my voice is kind of still fucked, so I'm on some antibiotics, so we'll see how that goes over the next week or so. Anyway, so yes, Reigns won. And the brackets here are kind of weird. Like, it's got guys like Titus O'Neil and Kalisto in there, which is like, what? But, understandably, they had to think of it last minute. They're overseas. It's called, oh, okay, we're overseas. Who do we have? Who's even here running shows overseas, Like, they don't fly the whole roster out, so they had to use, what they had. It was an unfortunate situation that they dealt with to the best of their ability, which is why you had guys like Titus O'Neil fighting Kevin Owens in the second match of the show, which, obviously, Owens wins that. But it's funny, if you look at the side of the bracket with Reigns, like, outside of Cesaro, who else on that side of the bracket, like, even matters anymore? Like, obviously, this thing seems set up for Reigns to just crush it. So, if, by some fucking shock, Cesaro manages to win next week, and I don't think he will, but if he did, imagine how much that would shake up. Everyone at this point is assuming that Reigns wins, or the finals are Reigns and Ambrose, or Reigns and Owens, and that Reigns is your next champion, which obviously they would have liked him to be champion at Mania, but, plans changed because the fans shit all over it. Anyway, Owens won that match. It was, whatever. That follows up Electric Chair, with Paige versus Becky Lynch, and I enjoyed this match for what it was. Ended up where Paige tried to roll up and grab the tights of Becky, who reversed it and grabbed the tights and got the pinfall. And match being what it was, the thing that irritated me was after the match, they went out to the announce table and, tore all the stuff off, and I swear, the only guy who is respectful of those monitors they have, those old-ass monitors they have on that table, is Kevin Nash. Just picks it up, puts it down gently, because Nash remembers back in the day when they had no fucking budget and WCW were kicking their ass, they couldn't afford to break shit. Whereas Lesnar just fucking chucks it across the goddamn arena, and Paige is just throwing it, and only Nash, just gently. Because he remembers when they had no fucking budget. Anyway, I'm on a tangent here. What bugged me, whenever heels, or anybody really, does a submission move on an announce table or on the concrete, that doesn't make it any worse. It's the same submission move. Like, I've never understood that. When CM Punk would do the go to sleep on the concrete, it's like, you're just still hitting with your knee. It's not making any... Obviously, they got to land on the ground after you get hit with it, but the point of the move is that you're getting hit in the face with the guy's knee. So that's what's supposed to damage you, so what happens to you after that? Not super important. So having Paige do her finisher on the announce table made no fucking sense. Outside of, oh, it looked cool, but it like, logistically, it didn't really do any different than having it done in the ring. And then out comes Charlotte, and then Paige retreats. Whatever. Anyway, moving on to the next match was another qualifier. And the thing that I liked about this show is that, obviously, they were forced to do it, but everything had a point to it. Like, it's, once again, you're telling a story throughout the show. And certainly, it's a part of a larger story that, goes over the few weeks leading into the pay-per-view. But obviously, the matches meant something. And I always like when, you have a show and the matches fucking mean something. And almost every match did. So, that brings us to Miz versus Dolph Ziggler, which Dolph Ziggler did win. And I fucked up. I fucked up. I don't know why I put Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze in that first match. That didn't actually happen. It's early, you guys. I apologize for having the wrong fucking match on the goddamn shit. Well, I'm tired. It was a late night. Up early. I'm not starting over. I'm not doing this whole discussion all over again. So, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. And this match, I guess I was explaining things to the guys, or I was looking at something on my phone. I don't remember the match at all. Like, it's just whoosh. Like, Ziggler won, whatever. I don't remember any of it. So, that moves us on to Zeb and Del Rio came out and cut a promo as the Mex-Americans. This still, like, Del Rio looks kind of, like, miserable in this role. Like, obviously he came back to more money and everything else, but he looked so much more refreshed from the promos that I'd seen him do in Lucha Underground. And here it's just kind of like, yeah, I took the money and I'm here, but Viva Del Rio. Yeah, so they came out and cut a promo, and they're gonna apparently build to him fighting Swagger at pay-per-view. I guess I don't actually know, but he's gonna be in the qualifiers on SmackDown. I don't watch SmackDown. Speaking of not watching SmackDown, we had Natalya versus Naomi in a Divas match, and there was some Team Bad shenanigans. So can someone answer? Did they reveal who attacked Natalya? Are we ever going to get a resolution to that? Because I haven't seen it, and I don't think they mentioned it. Or, at least they mentioned some stuff. They didn't say who did it. Or, whether or not that is still an ongoing mystery. Certainly, you would think Natalya would know. Like, was it Team Bad? Did you say it was Team Bad? Like, I don't watch all the additional... Like, I don't watch Main Event. I don't watch Superstars. I don't watch, like, the Backstage Fallout. Like, did they reveal who attacked Natalya? Because that was the one thing I was curious about, and it doesn't seem to be a very important thing now that she's back on Raw. Winning matches. And the only other thing that was significant here was the fact that Sasha Banks had her in the bank statement and put the glasses in her face. That's a funny moment. That is a fun image. Moving on. Best match of the night, certainly Cesaro versus Sheamus. There were some shenanigans with your local sports guy. And goddamn, how fucking weak does Wade Barrett look on a consistent basis? Because just, he got this little slap, and then he like fell over into like a back bump for that little slap. I'm like, seriously. Wade Barrett, could you be any weaker? It's like everybody else has kryptonite, and you're fucking Superman, and it's the worst. Anyway, is that gonna do it for this match? Nope, 2 count. Okay. But yes, I enjoyed Cesaro vs. Sheamus. Cesaro won, as he should, but of course, he's fighting Reigns in the next round, so that's not going to go well for him. But that could be a good match, so looking forward to that. The match after that was the match that I should have had in the beginning, which was Tyler Breeze versus Dean Ambrose, not Dolph Ziggler. I don't know why I fucked that up. And Ambrose won. This was Breeze's debut on main roster TV. and he had a good showing, so that's always encouraging when you just don't immediately squash your new guys to your existing talent. And that was a fun little match. So, that was followed by this match, which obviously you can see here is a kind of pointless 6-man tag match, but obviously the New Day make everything better, so I enjoyed the New Day doing their thing, cutting their promo in England, saying, just kind of sliding in there, and Harry Potter sucks. Like that, and the crowd just, yeah, like they know how to work a crowd. They are really good at it. So definitely enjoyed the New Day stuff, and they kind of won with some a cheating pin, a leverage pin, if you will. But I'm not sure if they're going to be setting up the New Day versus the Usos as your next title feud. Like I really don't care much about the Usos. They kind of have they jump and they clap and they kick. That's kind of all they do. Anyway, your main event was not a match. It was a Bray Wyatt promo about how he's stolen the powers of The Undertaker and Kane. But guess what? I guess he kind of didn't, because here comes Taker and Kane, and I'm so sick of that fucking CGI lightning. It's just stop. It's fucking terrible. Anyway, yeah, so... But it was a trap, because all the Wyatts were there when the lights go out and come back on. But then Taker and Kane beat up all the Wyatts, and they stand tall at the end, so what the fuck was the point? And apparently, this is what I'm hearing now, is that the match at Survivor Series is not going to be a traditional Survivor Series match. Even though you have 4 Wyatts, just add fucking Bo Dallas, I don't know. Even though you have 4, you can have a 4-on-4, and you're not. It's going to be Taker and Kane versus 2 members of the Wyatts, we don't know who. We're going to assume Bray and Braun, but fucking who knows? It could be Harper and Rowan for all we fucking know. So yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this fucking, like, how do you not at least have one traditional Survivor Series match at motherfucking Survivor Series? I don't know. So that was your main event, and I was kind of like, whatever. It didn't really do much for me, because it was kind of, like, boring and predictable. Like, you could have drawn out the Taker stuff another couple of weeks to the actual show itself. But it's like, oh, we stole their powers. And they're like, no, you kind of didn't. Like, you get like a 1-week deal where, oh, well, they did it for a week and now they didn't do it anymore. I don't know. The booking here, they don't, I don't think they know, which is, I guess, a larger issue. But that's going to do it for my Raw reactions. My apologies for fucking on that first match and not having the right match here on the show. I usually try to have it accurate, and my brain's just kind of doing shit. It's like 9 in the morning here, so... My apologies on that, and of course my voice not being 100% is what it is, but, I'm still got a 2K showcase in a couple hours, look forward to that. I'm your host, Taxlug. This has been Raw Reactions for the week of November the 9th, and I will see you next time, right here on this channel, and I'm out.